Okay, so I'm back for a little bit of discussion about the refugee project. I'm still awaiting word from the ANA about what we're going to be doing for helping out with making their website better. We got a ton of great ideas from all of you, and it's just going to take a little time. I'm hoping that I get enough information back as soon as possible so that we can work on some things. Because we're about 2/3 of the way through the semester, we've still got a third of it left, and I can juggle some things towards the end of the semester to make sure that that happens, because a lot of people mentioned in their feedback they love the real life application of the ANA project and the motivation that it gave them. And I think that's the purpose of a community engagement project or a civic engagement project, is that, wow, you're going to be doing something that really is going to impact some people. If you were taking my face-to-face class, we also work with the Agency for New Americans, and some are doing like donation drives where they're raising money or hygiene products or cleaning products, coats and things like that, school supplies for people in different, that are coming from different situations around the world. And then also another class, my UF 200 face-to-face class, is working with the ANA to promote their movie night. It's a movie called Playing with Fire, which is going to be playing at the Flicks on April 2nd at 7 o'clock. I have tickets if you want to buy them. They're $12 each, and you can go there for extra credit. But it's that idea about that pops up a lot when people ask me, so Greg, why do you center your classes around refugee issues? And a lot of it has to do with the construction of the UF 200 and UF 300 classes. They're built on the idea of civic engagement, and built on the idea of ethics, and built on the idea of examining the self's relationship to the community, and the self's relationship to the whole world, and at a structural level, right? That micro, meso, and macro level of connection to the world, because we all impact each other in some ways. And you know, a lot of people say, well, why don't we focus on trying to solve problems for the people right in our own backyard, you know, people who are Americans. And the thing about it is that refugees that arrive here are becoming Americans, right? I mean, they're here to stay. They are now our neighbors. And it's up to us to try to welcome them into our communities and make sure that they understand what it means to live here. Also, we can learn a lot from refugees about what's going on around the world, and really a lot of it has to do with, you know, how good things are in the United States in a lot of ways, even though we still have some problems to fix. As you know, the more you read out of the Readings for Diversity and Social Justice book, the more you see that there's some systemic things that are some issues that we're still dealing with as a country, but there's a lot of good things that we as Americans do too. And I don't want to, you know, it can get kind of depressing dealing with a lot of these issues that we're looking at, but always remember that what we're doing is centered on hope, centered in the idea that we can do something, centered in the idea that we as Americans are somewhat privileged compared to a lot of people in the world, and we can do something to help people. So keep considering that even, you know, these shoes, I got my Chuck Taylors on. These shoes were made in Vietnam, and there's something about that that's starting to bug me a little bit, because, you know, what are the conditions under which these were made? I'm not entirely sure. I should do some research. I should become more aware. And I think by meeting people from other countries, especially people who are coming to live here in the United States as refugees, can really help benefit our understanding of the world and of ourselves. So anyway, thanks for the detailed feedback. Take a moment to go back to week 5 and reread what you wrote to see if it still holds true now that we're a bit more than halfway through the semester. If there have been, or I've been trying to use some experimental sorts of assignments, maybe things that you haven't done before, like the Truth or Dare, that are a bit more unconventional, to try to spice things up so that you have some fun. while you're away, and that you want to report back to the class, like, hey, this is what I did, this is what happened to me, and then everybody else will be like, ooh, what happened to you? Let's go check that out. And it becomes a really lively learning experience. So I'll be asking for some more feedback pretty soon about how some of those assignments are going. So start thinking about what you might say to me about some of the more experimental type things that we've been doing. That's all.